Hello guys, it is IsTech Channel A to Z of programming languages. In this tutorial, we will take a look at what is OOP, I mean Object-Oriented Programming in Java. So don't forget to subscribe the channel, like the video and share it. Let's go. Like all other computer languages, the elements of Java do not exist in isolation. Rather, they work together to form the language as well a whole. However, this interrelatedness can make it difficult to describe one aspect of Java without involving several others. Often, a discussion of one feature implies prior knowledge of another. For this reason, this tutorial presents a quick overview of several key features of Java. Object-oriented programming is at the core of Java. In fact, all Java programs are object-oriented. This isn't an option that way that it is in C++. For example, OOP is so integral to Java that you must understand its basic principles before you can write even simple Java programs. Therefore, this tutorial begins with the introduction of OOP's principles. Abstraction. An essential element of object-oriented programming is abstraction. Humans manage complexity through abstraction. For example, people do not think of a car as a set of tens of thousands of individual parts. They think of it as a well-defined object with its own unique behavior. This abstraction allows people to use a car to drive to the grocery store without being overwhelmed by the complexity of the parts of that form the car. They can ignore the details of how the engine, transmission, and braking system work. Instead, they are free to utilize the object as a whole. So it was a real example of abstraction. Object-oriented concepts form the heart of Java just as they form the basic for human understanding. It is important that you understand how these concepts translate into programs. As you will see, object-oriented programming is a powerful and natural paradigm for creating programs that survive the inevitable changes accompanying the life cycle of any major software project, including conception, growth, and aging. Encapsulation. Encapsulation is the mechanism that binds together code and the data it manipulates, and keep both safe from outside interference and misuse. One way to think about encapsulation is a protective wrapper that prevents the code and data from being arbitrarily accessed by another code defined outside the wrapper. Access to the code and data inside the wrapper is tightly controlled through a well-defined interface. To relate this to the real world, consider the automatic transmission on an automobile. It encapsulates hundreds of bytes of information about your engine, such as how much you're accelerating, the pitch of the surface you are on, and the position of the shift lever. You, as the user, have only one method of affecting this complex encapsulation. In Java, the basis of encapsulation is the class. Each object of a given class contains the structure and behavior defined by the class, as if it were stamped out by a model in the shape of the class. For this reason, objects are sometimes referred to as instances of a class. Inheritance. Inheritance is the process by which one object acquires the properties of another object. This is important because it supports the concept of hierarchical classification. As mentioned earlier, most knowledge is made manageable by hierarchical classification. For example, a golden retriever is part of the classification dog, which in turn is part of the manual class, which is under the larger class animal. Without the use of hierarchies, each object would need to define all of its characteristics explicitly. However, by use of inheritance, an object need only define those qualities that make it unique within its class. It can inherit its general attributes from its parent. Thus, it is the inheritance mechanism that makes it possible for one object to be a specific instance of a more general case. Let's take a closer look at this process. Most people naturally view the world as made up of objects that are related to each other in a hierarchical way, such as animals, mammals, and dogs. If you wanted to describe animals in an abstraction way, you would say they have some attributes, such as size, intelligence, and type of skeletal system. So, animals also have certain behavioral aspects, like they eat, breathe, and sleep. This description of attributes and behavior is the class definition for animals. If you wanted to describe a more specific class of animals, such as mammals, they would have more specific attributes, such as type of teeth and mammary glands. This is known as a subclass of animals, where animals are referred to a mammals superclass. Since mammals are simply more precisely specified animals, they inherit all of the attributes from animals. A deeply inherited subclass inherits all of the attributes from each of its ancestors in the class hierarchy. Inheritance interacts with encapsulation as well. Polymorphism. Polymorphism is a feature that allows one interface to be used for a general class of actions. The specific action is determined by the exact nature of the situation. Consider a stack. You might have a program that requires three types of stacks. One stack is used for integer values, one for floating point values, and one for characters. The algorithm that implements each stack is the same, even though the data being stored differs. In a non-object oriented language, you would be required to create three difference of stack routeness with each set using different names. However, because of polymorphism in Java, you can specify a general set of stack routeness that all share the same names. More general, the concept of polymorphism is often expressed by the phrase one interface, multiple method. This means that it's possible to design a generic interface to a group of related activities. It is better to say polymorphism, encapsulation, and inheritance work together. So it was the introduction of OOP, I mean object oriented programming. We will learn about all of them step by step on the next sessions. So it was our slogan that first learn and then delete the L from learn, I mean earn. So thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe the channel, like the video and share them. See you later. Goodbye.